Hello, can everybody hear me? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum to everybody. So mashallah, I love to see activity here and progress being made here. Mashallah, Imam has created an oasis, middle of a desert, as you always call it. It's a great place. Always it really gives a lot of pleasure to the heart to see how the building is maintained, how the facility is maintained. I might say even, we shouldn't compare masajid, but even better than what the ISJ masajid do, because there, volunteers sometimes come, especially not the bigger ones like Maryam Masjid and others, which have a lot of people from our community living there, and they all volunteer. So the reason we are having this little talk from me is that I'm the chairman of the board, and we always, Imam and us, we always discuss, we should always look at the future and see what is to come. We don't know. What tomorrow brings, we don't know. I'm a cardiologist, so I play with life and death all the time. People come with cardiac arrest and die in front of me. Or we try to resuscitate them and they come alive. We open up their arteries and they live, go back home in 2 days. So all this game gets played in front of us, and we are very realistic about life and death, as you can imagine. More so than many other professions. So you always ask yourself a question: what if tomorrow I'm not here? What happens? Personally, also have to do the same. Imam has to do the same. If Imam is here today, mashallah, I pray that he lives for a long time and continues to lead us and you and this community, continues to do the excellent hard work that he and Hussein are doing, and will continue to benefit. We hope and pray that. But again, we all have to end one day. So we asked Imam, what happens if you go? So Imam, of course, appreciated that reminder and thought about it, and we discussed in our board meetings also. So that's why what he did was a good smart thing that he did, and listened to our advice, was to create a board. Board is a group of people who sort of own the organization. So it's not under one individual who owns it, it's a board that owns it. The board is a group of like-minded people, responsible people, people who are affiliated and own the place, not in terms of monetary. Nobody's owning things that need money by it, but own it as an entity and as a mission. So that's what the board is. So we were very lucky that we were able to choose, Imam was able to choose among people who have been his supporters all along, a group of people, all very nice, educated, responsible social people, professionals, who agreed to serve on the board. So we have a board, and about how many members? We have 11 members of the board. And so that board is the authority that owns the place. And the board has the authority to sell it, to dissolve it, to do whatever they want to do. That's the board. But again, it's not one person. It will be the combined opinion and the vote of all the members, all the 11 members unanimously, in order to do such any final act. But other small things, we just need a vote and meeting and all that. The board then, in addition to the board, there was another entity that was made, was the board, was the helpers and the assistants that do not constitute the board, but they will help the Imam in day-to-day decisions and all that. But the most important thing, who will be the foot soldiers? Who will be the one who will do the day-to-day running of the masjid? Because obviously the board is not here. We are all busy with our practices and this and that. We are not here to run, unfortunately. We wish we could do that, but we are not here every day. We live in different parts of town, for example. But the Imam is here every day. His team and his people around him are here every day, and they run the place. And that is exactly what the board wants. So the board oversees an executive committee of people who actually run the place. And this is not new. This happens in every NGO, every organization, every foundation. That's how things work. So that executive committee, Imam is currently the CEO, and under him are 5 or 6 people that run under with his instructions. So that's how the current setup is. And I hope you all understand this current setup. So the Masjid is a non-profit organization and is governed by the Board of Trustees, BOT, and so the Board of Trustees supervises an executive committee that does the day-to-day. And there are a group of many people who are advisors, and you all are welcome to apply to Imam to join actively if you are so want. Okay? So Masjid consists of this piece of land that you are sitting, and an additional piece of land that was bought donated by an entity in order to develop further the masjid. And you all know the plan that inshallah one day we will have a dawah center, an auditorium, a rehabilitative center for people who convert in the prisons and then come here. They need to be trained, they need to be rehabilitated, there will be placed a grocery shop, there will be some apartments. All this will make this place more and more lively and more useful. And luckily we found the place right next door. So that is in Imam's plan to develop that. Now, coming back to the organizational structure. So you know the physical structure and the organizational structure. What happens now if I told Imam that what happens if you pass away? Who is the next of kin? Who is your next in line? So Imam was able to tell us that he has identified 6 people that are his inner circle. There are I beg your pardon. There are 4 sisters and 6 brothers. Total of 10 people who are the inner circle, and the board will decide among these people based on their availability, health, ability to serve, their commitment, and their track record, and their background check, and their Imam's own feelings for them that he has communicated time and again. So when the time comes, the board will sit down, and from these 10 people will decide who will be the CEO. And then the other 9 people will continue to serve as the inner circle, and maybe more will be added, maybe more, some will be subtracted, we don't know. And the other committed people will come and join the inner circle, who are truly workers who come here and do the work. So that's the criteria for these people. So now I will name those people so that as it becomes part of the record. And I will communicate this email that Imam sent me, or this piece of document, and make it part of our minutes in the board meeting and be signed by everybody. So it becomes part of our official record, and when the time comes we can open that file and then follow the instructions. Okay? So these are the names that are the Imam's inner circle. Bismillah. The sisters, Bathilde Tahara is the sister, Safiya Rix. Number 3, Robin Cisco. And number 4, Hussaina Khan. I assume they are in no particular order, not even alphabetical, and they are just random. So don't think that this is a rank order of any sort. It's not a rank order. It is not who is next on top, and it's not the pecking order. But it's just a random name. And same with the brothers. Okay? So the brothers are Nuruddin Abdul Latif, Jihad Abdullah, Musa Wagne, Ali Masood, Salim Omar, and Abdul Hakim. All get it? Any questions? So these are the 10 people that the Imam's inner circle of dedicated workers, his own cabinet, we call it, and he's the Prime Minister, that he will depend on to continue the mission, continue the legacy of the masjid, continue the upkeep, and make sure that the masjid stays alive, and the masjid says, mashallah, the donors keep coming, and the community around you continues to benefit in every way. Okay, so this is my little announcement, and we will record this, as I said, in the board meeting next time. The board members are not here today, but we will record it. Okay. Now, if you all have any questions, any objections, anything that you would like to add, tell us any of your ideas. Anything? Okay. So I assume there are no questions and that everybody accepts this proposition. Yes. Sure.
May Allah bless you, Dr. Reed, to make yourself available. His schedule is almost as insane as mine, so to get him here for these few moments is important. Just as a footnote, I've been using that term inner circle for several years. We started, Hafsaina heard me first use that word maybe about three years ago or 4 years ago. And then people have come and gone. Since the Masjid has been in existence, those 10 people that Dr. Amin just listed are for the inner circle now, are the most reliable and the closest ones to me since the Masjid has been in existence. You know, that doesn't mean that no one else helps. I want to make sure that's clear. Everybody has some value, but those are the ones that we actually count on. You know, and the reason why Dr. Amin is not the first person to tell me that he has concerns about what happens if something happens to me. We have some very dedicated and consistent donors and supporters that ask that question every time they see me, you know, because it's an unusual energy that I put in. I don't have more energy than anybody else. I'm just unusually determined, and I'll put it that way. However, I thank Allah for those that he did list, the 4 sisters and then 6 brothers. That doesn't mean that no one else, as he mentioned, couldn't be added. But those of you who would like to know what it would take to be a part of the inner circle, don't ask me or him. You got to ask people that's already on the inner circle, or just be around them and they'll show you. You know. The other thing too is that's very, very special. One thing I did ask Allah for, and Allah has answered regarding this masjid, Allah has answered every dua, including the dua that I made regarding Dr. Amin and his family. You know. And so I asked Allah to keep me around long enough to make sure this community is stabilized. And so, I don't think I'm going anywhere anytime soon because I asked Allah to keep me around till everything is stabilized. You'll know when it's time for me to go, when everything looks like it's running perfectly smooth. So, well, I guess you might as well go to Walmart, get his sheets and wrap him up. However, this is so special that what I have ordered, and you will be contacted, those of you that's part of the inner circle, you're going to be contacted maybe around Wednesday. I would like for you all to meet me on Wednesday evening in Maghrib. The inner circle is available. I have something special that I ordered for you. It's a special pin that I want you to wear. You know, it's psychological reasons, not only for yourself, but for the community. You know, but we do have, but it's very, very critical, you know, very critical that we accumulate as much help as we possibly can, and the support and the timing of having this board of trustees under the direction of Dr. Amin here is very critical and vital to this community. We want to safeguard the community, you know. And finally, this wasn't initially part of the meeting. We still get a lot of questions. People say, what about the youth? Why don't you have something for the youth? You know, the only thing that I know how to do for the youth is I know how to train them to be leaders. I can't train the young boys how to be men. That's the father's job. But I can train them how to be leaders. But the only method I know, I need support of the parents. If I can't get that out, I'm helpless unless you just want a basketball coach. Then they'll really lose because I'm the worst basketball player in the history of circles. The sisters are coming along fine. They have a program going to develop the sisters. May Allah bless them and strengthen them, and I pray the brothers will use that as a template and begin to work with the brothers. But I cannot raise these young boys. I can't raise them. I can only teach them how to be leaders, and we're going to need them. You know. So, but having said that, I appreciate everyone's support and du'as. You know, and that those of you who are on the inner circle, I'm just going to ask you just stay in close touch with each other. It's important. Brother Nuruddin, I said to you many, many times, it tightened everybody up. You know, when I was in the Nation of Islam, we were so close that we could talk to each other without talking. You know, that's how close we were. We could look at each other. Remember that saying? we could look at each other and communicate. That's how close we were. We haven't got there yet, you know, but we need to get this very, very critically important. We have a lot to do. This project next door we're getting ready to build, and I'm sure Dr. Amin, after we pray, I got the initial set of blueprints in my office. It's going to be amazing, inshallah. It's going to be the first on the planet Earth, the first Dawah theater. Not just a Dawah room or, you know, a little hall. It's going to be a Dawah theater where you get all dressed up, you know, and I mean, elevator to the balcony and overlook and have Islamic programs and inspire people about Islam. You know, you're going to see it. This is one aspect of it. You don't have to go all the way down to Sugar Land or Hillcroft to get halal groceries. We'll have a halal grocery store right here, inshallah. We'll have about 15 apartments, but the architect is working on us where if we get at least 25 two-bedroom apartments. So a Muslim can just go down the elevator and walk right next door to the masjid. That's sweet. And it's still going to be a musalla inside the Dawah theater for people who want to make the salat today. Doesn't that sound beautiful? But it's going to come with a price. We got to work. And if you want to know how to work or what, don't say, what do you mean, what you need me to do? Ask somebody on the inner circle, they'll show you. Does that make sense? Am I fair? Thank you very much. The meeting is already ended with the dua. We need somebody to call the event. Yes, ma'am.
We have food too, period.
Oh, this food, this lunch being served after we pray. So we need a muezzin to call the prayer, and then we'll pray, and then